You've essentially wrestled. I mean, of course, you've done independence, but your entire career in the WWF.
Yeah, oh yeah, 32 years. 32 years in WWF and WWE. So eventually I was doing squash jobs, TV with every week. And then all of a sudden, my biggest break was Ricky Steamboat. He came in. They would always give me the first match of every new talent. So Ricky Steamboat comes in. They used to put a paper on the wall that said who versus who. And it said Ricky Steamboat versus Steve Lombardi. I said, holy shit. I said, because Ricky was a big star, from Charlotte and all that. He was a huge star. So I said, Mr. Steamboat, I'm wrestling you tonight. He says, great. I want to tell you one thing, kid. I don't beat people like a dish rag. He goes, because I'm beating no one if I beat him like a dish rag. So I'm going to give you offense. He goes, I'm going to sell for you, and I'm going to make you look decent, and then so it makes it like I beat somebody that means something. Uh-huh. So all of a sudden, I go from being a job guy, which I'm not offended by a job guy, which a lot of wrestlers get offended by the word jobber. But to me, I don't get offended because everyone in the world who has a job is a jobber, and everybody who hires them is a jobbie. That's the way I always looked at it. So exactly. Ricky Steamboat, I already wrestled a bunch of matches, probably 40, 50 matches. So I was gaining experience, so I know I could have did anything. So all of a sudden, Ricky Steamboat, okay, brother, we're gonna do a double leapfrog. I'll go for a hip toss, reverse hip toss, me, go for the elbow, and I'll move. After I move, I'll grab your arm, reverse the arm, I'll reverse the arm back. The boys in the back were saying, holy shit, he's actually having a competitive match with Ricky Steamboat. So then I walked back to the arena, to the dressing room, and I'll never forget it. Tito Santana goes, brother, how did it feel? I said, what do you mean, how did it feel? It feels great. It feels great that I can actually, show my talents because of a guy that doesn't want to be a dish rag. You know what I mean? And that was the start. Yeah. And then all the boys started selling for me and treating me more like a competitive wrestler. And then I went for about 5 years as Steve Lombardi, and I got better and better and better, and my work became crisper and crisper until the day Bobby Heenan walked up to me, and he said to me, you know how to wrestle? Now we're going to teach you how to make money. He said, I'm putting you in my stable. The reason for that was Bobby Heenan had all the talent, Andre the Giant, Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, like the list goes on. And then all of a sudden, the Brooklyn Brawler. Bobby says, I'm going to make you the Brooklyn Brawler. And then he says, but I want you dirty and grimy. So he takes me outside of I remember it was Hershey Arena. He tells me, you see that mud right there? Roll around in the mud. I said, Bobby, what are you talking about? He goes, I want you to be a dirty, grimy street fighter from Brooklyn. So all Bobby's talent was busy with an angle with different people. So the Red Rooster was there, and he was under Bobby, and they were having a dispute. So he says, I'm going to use you to battle Red Rooster, because right now me and him are on odds. So that's where the angle with me and Terry Taylor, Red Rooster, which he hated the gimmick, came along.
How did you get along with Bobby?
Did I what?
How did you get along with Bobby?
I got along fantastic with Bobby. He taught me a lot. He was a great guy. He was witty. He was very, very educated in the business. And I consider him a great guy, and I consider him the person that gave me my first break.
How'd you like working with Terry Taylor?
Terry Taylor was a good guy, but he was a better guy when he won. When he lost, he was miserable. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like as soon as I started working with Bobby under Bobby, working with Terry Taylor under Bobby, my paycheck jumped like to $7,000 a week. You know what I mean? And I told my wife, I said, my wife, who I've been with for 38 years now, I says, now we're going to buy a house. Terry Taylor says, well, I'm going to buy a Volvo. So our priorities were completely in a different place.